And now, Paul, you run something called My Life, My Music. So what is My Life, My Music?
So, on the radio, you hear people talking about their lives, and choosing the music that they like, favourite music that's sort of soundtracked their life. Well, usually it's famous people on the radio.
Yeah.
But the people we know, the people we love, lead interesting lives as well. They're always interesting to someone. And so we're making it possible for normal people to do their own version of it.
So it's a bit like a Desert Island Discs sort of thing.
Legally speaking, no. But yes, it's a bit like that. In that you tell your life story and you choose your favourite songs. So that's lovely. The same sort of vibe. But it's for anyone who wants to do it.
Because I was thinking about something similar about this the other day when I was back home in Ireland. I was with my mum. And I was sitting down with my cousin. My cousin came to visit, and my mum and my cousin started talking about, what people and lives and things. And it was really interesting, and I hadn't heard any of this stuff before.
That's true. A lot of people, you never sort of sit down with a relative and say, so tell me all about your life.
Yeah.
And it's often in other conversations you hear stories you might not have heard before. The thing with your relatives, you don't think about when they're gone, the thing that you'll miss. That you don't have is their voice. You've got lots of photos and maybe videos that of mucking about, but when they're not around anymore, you miss their voice and their stories. And this is the way of capturing it in a way that can be preserved. It's nice sort of presentation, and it's them telling their story in their voice. So
I'm 38 now, and I never really knew my grandparents. I knew my gran, a bit, but she died when I was 10. So and I didn't know any of my other grandparents. Yeah. And also, when you're around the age of 10 or 14, 15 or something like that, in all honesty, you don't really care that much about the stories. You're not, you're interested in other things. You are sort of self-absorbed, aren't you, at that age? And that's perfectly natural. That's it. And then it's too late, isn't it, to hear those stories? And then you get to the age I get to now, and I think, I wish I could have heard my gran talk about what her life was.
Yeah.
And it's almost like future-proofing yourself, isn't it?
Yeah, you're creating sort of a digital legacy of sorts for people. And that's it. If you don't have it, like my parents aren't around anymore. They died about 10 years ago. It's before camera phones really got into the swing of things. I don't have any sort of videos of them. I've got no recording of their voice. So it's one of those things that if you don't save it, if you don't preserve it, it's gone forever, and by the time you realise that, it's often too late.
So you're helping to preserve that, with your venture.
Exactly.
And how does it work then? So do you go around to somebody's house and sort of record them for hours and hours on end?
In a way, yes.
Yeah.
So wherever's comfortable, really. Often it's someone's house where just you can put the kettle on, have a cup of tea, sit in your favourite chair, and I'll set up all the equipment. And we just have a chat and a cup of tea, record everything, takes a few hours. And the end product is usually just under an hour, so not too long, so no one get too bored.
Must be quite a skill on your part, though, because lots of people don't like talking about themselves, and they certainly don't like talking and being recorded. Anybody who works in this industry can tell you that. So
exactly, you need to sort of...
You've got to be able to tease stuff out of people as well.
Yeah, and you need to sort of get talking beforehand, and make them feel easy and forget that the microphone's there, which is quite tricky. Like where I'm sitting here, I'm staring at a big blue microphone.
Yeah, with a red light on the top of it.
Yeah. But people are more happier to talk to a stranger about their life and their stories than they are maybe their kids. I remember when my dad was sick, before he died, I was thinking about how I didn't really know much about his life, but I kind of felt a bit too awkward to ask. Mm-hmm. No one likes to think about dying, let alone talk about it. And when you do talk, like in that particular situation, it was sort of very real. It's like, can you tell me about your life? Because you're not going to be around very much longer. And I felt too kind of self-conscious to do it. Mm-hmm. But when you've got someone else in between, it kind of takes that away. It takes the death element away. It's a nice thing for someone to do, to talk about their life. And if you take it out of the framing of, you're not going to be around much longer, I want to know more about you, they're more likely to talk to someone in this kind of situation.
Yeah. Well, it's fascinating, and best of luck with the venture, because I think it's really interesting what you're doing.
Thank you.
Cake.
I brought
cake.
Cake.
There was no way to segue easily, to be honest.
No. So what cakes have you brought us today?
These
Yeah.
are
I'm going to eat it now.
okay. They're lemon drizzle cakes.
They're very good looking.
Very good.
There's a secret ingredient. Don't panic.
Good
There's a
texture.
secret
Is it
ingredient
cocaine.
In here. See if you can guess.
Taste of lemon.
This is a gluten-free cake.
Is it?
My it is. My son Johnny and my partner Sonia have got celiac disease.
Right.
And we found a recipe for gluten-free lemon drizzle cake. That one of the biggest ingredients is mashed potato.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't swallow it now. It's really nice. Oh, wow. On that bombshell.
Hang on, that was really nice. Is it really?
Yeah, it is.
It's got such an amazing texture.
Yeah, it makes them all sort of spongy and
Yeah, it's
and
incredible.
you can't really taste the potato. So
Yeah.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing. Where could people find out more about my life, my music?
right, well it's whatsthestoryuk.com. The company's called What's the Story, so the website is whatsthestoryuk.com, and we're on Facebook, Twitter, that kind of thing.
Thank you so much. Thank you for coming in, and thank you
Yes.
for the mashed potato cakes.
That's the end of Cake O'Clock.